Total, committed to better energy. In this show, we'll give you a team perspective of what it takes to race at this international level.
We're off to the third round of the ARC. This event is in Ndola. Simon and I have travelled from Durban. We're waiting at the international section now. We're going to Ndola. And then we've had quite a lot of challenges getting here. First of all, this will be our first race in the R4 car. But to get the R4 car to Zambia, the car had to go back to France. So it got released from customs on Monday morning, and then it stayed in the airport for a while, and now it's on its way. I think it's crossing through Botswana at the moment, from South Africa to Botswana. And we're going to meet it in Ndola on Wednesday. Tomorrow we start our recce runs, and we'll be good to go. So we're all looking good. We're looking forward to a fantastic event.
I spent a lot of time last night doing all my pace notes and making sure I've got all the right documentation, and now today I'm just trying to relax and do the recce tomorrow and make sure we've got the right notes.
So we're here, arrived, Protea Hotel, waiting for 5 o'clock when we can start with the documentation. But before we could go anywhere, we had to start our transport without jumper cables. The next task for the day was to offload the rally cars, then prepare them for scrutineering. This is when the officials go through the cars with a fine tooth comb to ensure they comply with rules set out by the FIA. Offloading rally cars on an uneven surface with a forklift is a stressful task. Even the goats were impressed with this big budget commotion. All the rally teams have to go through this scrutineering process. Apparently there's a small issue with the restrictor.
What is on the car?
Smaller restrictor, it's too small.
31?
Yeah.
It's supposed to run 33.
It's 32, this is a 33. This is the right one. We're just phoning a few people to find out if we should change the restrictor or just leave it as it is.
Apparently they've just failed scrutineering because the names that are written on the side of the windows are too small. Looks like the hoist is stuck with the car on the top.
Yeah, there's a few guys there trying to work it out at the moment.
Let's hope we can get the car down. An hour later, the car's still stuck up on the hoist. Guys are puzzling to get it down.
The car's stuck on the hoist. We've had numerous technicians pulling it apart and having a look. Plan B now is we're reversing an interlink up to the hoist so we can reverse the car onto the back of the interlink. And then I think there's a crane at the back. We're going to try and pick the car up with a crane to get it off the truck. So a little bit of drama, but we're going to make a plan.
It turns out no crane, but another forklift. Hey, did you have a few tense moments there?
Well, I'm glad it's safely on the floor now.
Motorsport in Zambia is massive. We went from one media briefing to the next media briefing to the next media briefing.
Basically, it flew to France on last week Friday to get the paperwork sorted out, and it landed in South Africa on Monday, and it drove through. It just arrived now in Ndola, so just in the nick of time. We were panicking a little bit that the car wouldn't be here, but the team did a fantastic job to get the car here, so we're really excited.
Tire change. 3, 2, 1, go! One minute, 37 seconds.
We're at the Podium Hotel in Ndola. We've got a press briefing now just to inform the press of what's happening this weekend. I think they're also going to ask us questions about how we're feeling for the event.
Africa is now on motherland. We have been graced with an amazing field.
You know, the big show you guys are putting on, it's fantastic. So pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
competitors are mingling and being friendly to one another. But make no mistake, tomorrow morning it's all-out war.
Debut on Zambian soil of the Etios R4, ladies and gentlemen, reigning South African champion Botterill Simon Vacy Lyle.
Welcome rally fans to another Rally Guys show. This time we're in Ndola in Zambia for the Gomes International Rally 2019. We've just had the ceremonial start. We've got the stadium behind us there and we're waiting for the cars to come back after they've just been around the town. Guy and Simon have come here to Ndola to battle the best rally drivers in Africa.
We have more drama. One of the rally cars has got absolutely no oil in it. When did that happen?
I don't know. It's we just came out this morning and it's there's a big mess here this morning.
And some quick surgery and it's all fixed.
The Wildcat team have their work cut out for them. Their R4 reaches speeds of about 165, 170 kilometers an hour, while those R5s can do closer to 195 kilometers an hour. So although that R4 is super fast off the mark and into the turns are nice and quick out and very nimble, Guy and Simon definitely have their work cut out if they want to finish on a podium. This is stage one of the Gomes Rally International taking place here in Zambia. Stage one saw competitors coming out guns blazing. Munna Singh Jr. navigated by Zaid Khan in car 1, a Subaru Impreza powered by Dirt Star Racing, flying the Zambian flag high. Manvir Brian, car 51, navigated by Drew Storick in their multiple racing Skoda Fabia R5, looking solid. Car 56, Cabras Racing Team entry, driven by Carl Tondo and navigated by Timothy Jessup. The Wildcat Energy team of Botterill and Simon Vacy in their Toyota Etios R4 from South Africa, the first R4 built in the world. Car 2, the Gomes Racing team, driven by Leroy Gomes and navigated by his wife Ursula, both Zambians. Another Cabras Racing team member, Car 55, driven by Carl Tondo and navigated by Sonny Ravi, both from Kenya. Yes Energy Drink team driver Mohamed Essa and navigator Laston Chuli, both Zambians. Team Cabras with another massive surge of dominance from driver Onka Rai and navigated by Gareth Dawe. Car 11, another Wildcat entry, making a name for himself is Zubair Essa and Farad Mawanam Kondo from beautiful Zambia. Zambia, what a motorsport loving nation. We salute you. Disaster strikes on stage 3. A disappointed Guy reflects on all the effort the team put in to get him to the rally.
The effort to take it to France, bring it back to South Africa, drive it to Ndola, the huge amount of effort that the team had gone through to get me to where I was. You almost feel like you've let the guys down by, crashing on stage 3. So, it's never a good thing, but, in rally, it does happen. We're pushing really hard and, accidents do happen. We touch wood that they don't happen often, but, quite fortunate enough, although we did roll, it wasn't a very bad roll. A lot of the bodywork and cosmetic was mainly damaged, so the engine and the gearboxes and everything was fine. So the guys, after I'd rolled the car, I apologized to the whole team, I apologized to everybody, and I just said to the guys, I'm really sorry, made a mistake. I turned in, I actually measured it. We climbed up the bank on the exit of the corner.
They came along and just clipped it right there, ever so gently. I saw from the drone how you just gently clipped the side of the, put like an embankment there.
Just clipped the bank and rolled us over.
So, yeah. Disaster for the Wildcat team. All 3 race cars in the pits, broken from a variety of misfortune.
At the end of the stage, we could just smell some fuel.
Out of fuel, pumped all the fuel onto the floor.
Like a 3 rand pot?
It's basically less than that, it's like a 2 cents pot.
The mechanics start the massive task of rebuilding and repairing the 3 rally cars.
Yeah, we can get all the bits we need there.
Look, shit happens. It's part of the game, but hopefully we'll have it running before, let's hope for the end the night stages. Yeah, but
Motor racing.
it's motor racing. It's part of rallying.
It's not what the sponsors needed, but it's kind of how rally rolls. Motorsport, yeah.
So it looks like they got all the parts and it's looking good to restart this evening. At least he's going to get some seat time.
We've got a windscreen for it. That's what I was worried about. I'm quite sure that they'll be up and running in a couple of hours' time. Yeah, I hate to comment on why things happen. You know, guy races to win. And we just put it together and gain some pride tomorrow.
But the engine's good. It's going to be good for you because that means your cars are bulletproof.
We hope so. The engine is a standard-based engine, so it should be very good in this sort of scenario. For now it looks good. It doesn't look like it ran without oil pressure for any extended period. I just want to make 100% sure.
Behind us, the Gem Sport mechanics are putting this car back together. But these guys are some of the best mechanics on the African continent. Think you can restart?
Yeah. The cage is okay. I just inspected. It looks good.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Hey, bad luck the whole day,
So what happened to you?
Broke a front drive shaft, I think, one or two maybe. So stuck in rear-wheel drive.
I'll ask the questions, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Guy, how does it feel to roll the first Etios R4 in the world?
Was that the first roll this car's ever had? At least we get a trophy for something.
You've just made history.
Not good history, but they're fixing the car, and then the next stage we're going to do is a night stage. So I don't know, night stage, lots of curbs, lots of fences, very narrow, and it's quite quick. It's like an oval around the stadium here, so we'll see.
Gem Sport, a world-class mechanical team from South Africa, working on all three cars simultaneously, putting them back together in record time. Some local glass fitters also pulled out all the stops, getting the Wildcat car of Botterill and Vacy Lyle roadworthy. These local glass fitters showed some amazing techniques. So we've assembled quite a crowd while they modify the body, modify the screen. That's the windscreen, trying to get it back in position. A bit of on-site fender fabrication very quickly. Then the windscreen is fitted. The Wildcat is fired up once again, sounding wicked. The team drop the car down and prepare it for wheel alignment. A quick test drive and the car is ready to race.
They did it in approximately 4 hours.
Major heart surgery, 4 hours.
4 hours, yes.
That's absolutely
we have a very competent team, and I believe they did the best job ever.
As the sun set, teams prepared their cars for the night stages, and people poured into the stadium. Out now, Muna Singh Jr. and Zonit Khan and their Dirt Star Racing Subaru Impreza racing machine. The freshly repaired R4 from the Wildcat team came out guns blazing, boasting a top 3 fastest time of the night. Manvia and Drew kept the pressure on the rest of the field with this flawless run. Gomes racing team husband and wife duo in car 2 from Zambia, bringing the crowd to their feet. More disaster for the Wildcat team. Zubair and Kelvin out after day one.
Drive shaft again. So, third drive shaft of the day. Finally think we found the problem, but I have to pull out because we run out of drive shafts, and I feel like if I go through one more run, there's one more run before service. If I go through it, I'll completely wreck the car.
What happened?
We slid. We were just too fast. I came out of the corner very fast. I was targeting the other corner because my car dies in the corner. So I was trying to keep up, to keep the speed. So unfortunately, it was slippery, and then we lost it. We hit the gap.
Today's been a really tough for the Wildcat team. I was the first one to fall out. We had the roll. Devastated about that, but my crew was fantastic. They rebuilt the car. Then Zubair had problems with drive shafts, and Kelvin fell out with a fuel pressure. I think he had a leak with his fuel line, so that was a problem. So the guys worked really hard to get my car and Kelvin's car back into Super Rally. We've just done 2 stages now at night. Now on the second run, we went 9 seconds quicker than our first run, so we posted a really good time.
Day 2, stage 13 about to start. Car 51, Team Multiple Racing, had victory in their sights. Manvia and Drew knew to keep the pressure on, but not make any mistakes. Leroy and Ursula are pushing hard, trying to pressure Manvia into a mistake. Team Cabras, car 55, showed no signs of backing off. Beldev and Sony were fully committed to catching the leaders. Car 56 with Carl Tondo and Timothy Jessup in their unstoppable Mitsubishi Evo X hammered down on stage 13. The Wildcat R4 entry eventually started finding its pace. Car 5, driven by Cleveland Gomes and navigated by Sylvia Maliwe, both from Zambia, showing solid pace. Tickley's Motorsport, Car 4, driven by Farouk Tickley and navigated by Jasmine Tickley. This is Cabras Racing Team Car 52, driven by Chavir Rai and navigated by Tariq Malik. By stage 14, competitors were locked into an unchanging field. Manvir and Leroy doing battle for the top spot in front of a capacity crowd.
Had an advantage because he took off before guys took off.
How long?
About maybe 3 to 5 seconds or so.
We were struggling this few stages before. This R4 car is quite complicated. We had made a decision in the car to turn the engine mapping down. After pushing the launch control button, waiting for the lights to go out, as I launched, the car died, and we had to turn the car back into stage mode. So we wasted quite a lot of time trying to get off the line. I was quite cross, and I went as hard as we could go. We just pipped him to the line, so we were quite glad that we managed to beat him.
I'm bouncing around from car to car. Luckily, I've hooked up with Dean this time. Dean from Uganda. He's giving me a lift to service. And I've missioned all over Zambia with different rides, taxis and people. This is the start of stage 15 and I'm in the bushes somewhere in the middle of nowhere. So these guys have told me there's a better spot up ahead. So we're running to find that location. Guys are climbing trees, everybody's trying to find a great advantage point to see the cars. We've got a huge crowd coming down the road there. Stage is about to start in a few minutes. Manvir and Drew hammered down in the Skoda Fabia R5 with caution in the back of their minds, now having a comfortable lead. Leroy and Ursula Gomes in their Ford Fiesta R5, a crowd favorite, still pushing hard all the way to the end. Team Cabras, car 54, Anka Rai and Gareth Dawe holding tight onto third place in the Skoda Fabia R5. Cabras Racing Team holding third, fourth and fifth positions on stage 15. This is Beldev Charger and Sonny Ravi in the Mitsubishi Evo X. Car 56 Cabras Racing Team, Carl Tondo and Timothy Jessup in fifth place in their Mitsubishi Evo X racing machine. Muna Singh Jr. and Zaneed Khan in the Subaru Impreza, scraping the embankment as they pass.
How close was he?
Oh, it was really, really close, eh? He scraped the wall.
Yeah, scraped it, eh?
Yeah.
Yes Energy Drink Racing Team Car 3 pushing hard as they pass through this excited group of spectators. The Wildcat R4 showing some solid pace towards the end of the event. How's Guy doing?
He's doing much better than in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's much quicker.
Gomes Racing Team Car 5 of Cleveland and Sylvia in the Mitsubishi Evo, still committed, chasing down the leaders. Tickley's Motorsport Team of Farouk Tickley and Jasmine, clearly a crowd favorite, rooting and cheering as they pass. Stage 17, final stage of the day, sunny day. Hundreds of people have come out to watch the final. All over the back, as you can see, people everywhere. The last stage of the day is much of a formality as the podium finishers are cast in stone by this stage. Leroy and Ursula Gomes take the win on the last stage to the crowd's delight, but Manveer and Drew are the overall victors.
Well, we've finished the second loop of the day, the last loop. We changed tyres, the car went a hell of a lot better on a different compound tyre, so it was much more drivable. I think there's still a little bit more setup to do on the car, but quite relieved to get to the end of this loop. It's been a very hard rally, probably one of the toughest we've ever done. It wasn't easy. The mechanics were unbelievable on the car. You know, we crashed the car, they fixed it, and it's almost been flawless. Other than that, so it's fantastic to be at the end, and now we're going to the prize giving, so we'll see you there.
This program is proudly brought to you by Total Excellium.
Once we've tamed this Wildcat, I'm pretty sure we're going to be unstoppable.